Very good morning. We are looking at this breaking news that a passenger's died on Turbulence from a flight from London to Singapore. Nick has got in touch on gbnews.com/your say. And Nick says, I've flown out to Singapore dozens of times, and the turbulence over the Indian Ocean and the Himalayas was quite violent at times, with the plane dropping to up to 100 feet in a couple of seconds. On one occasion, whilst walking in the aisle, my feet momentarily left the floor with a feeling of weightlessness. On another occasion, a trolley decided to go for a run as the pilot attempted to climb to smoother air. And on another, the oxygen masks dropped down. So it's obviously a route that is subject to all sorts of turbulence. But apparently there was a storm at the time as well.
You still don't expect to hear that someone's died. So the plane was forced to divert to Bangkok. 30 people were hurt as well. One person died. It was a Boeing 777, left the UK on Monday. It's just, as we were talking earlier, you don't expect a plane that leaves Britain to fly to Singapore for this to happen. I've never heard of it before, this sort of thing.
It's that moment, isn't it, when you start to feel the plane shake.
Yeah.
You just start to feel it shake. You think,
oh,
something rattles in your glass. And then they will hopefully come round and say, can you just check you've got your seatbelt on the plane? And the fasten seatbelt sign comes on, you can't go to the loo. It's that moment. And sometimes we can be a little blasé about that, maybe, when the air stewards are coming down. You think, oh, there's no queue, I might just snip to the loo. Air turbulence is all right, isn't it? It's not going to be causing any problems. And then you look at a day like this, it's obviously been fatal for one person.
And also, so much stuff now is put in the overhead lockers. And if any of those were burst open, I mean, they are rammed now.
That's right.
With big bags, heavy bags, which can add to the problem when there's really bad disruption.
Yeah. There were 211 passengers on board. There were 18 crew on board. As far as we know, the fatality was actually a passenger and not, as I'd originally assumed, maybe an air steward walking around the plane.
Well, let's talk to Lisa Minot, who is the travel editor at The Sun. Lisa, this is frankly shocking.
It is very shocking, yes. I mean, although we do experience turbulence on flights a lot, it is highly unusual for somebody to actually lose their life in this way. In fact, there's only actually been 38 deaths since 2009 in total of the millions of flights that we take every year. So it is extremely unusual.
It just shows, Lisa, we were just saying that actually sometimes we can be a bit blasé when you sat in an aeroplane for your regular flyer, when they give you the instructions of where your exits are, people have their headphones in. It's a reminder that it can possess risks flying, even if it isn't about an aeroplane falling out of the sky.
Very much so, yes. I mean, this is why you're told all the time on airlines. I've literally just flown back from Cancun yesterday. You're advised to have your seatbelt on at all times, particularly on those overnight flights when perhaps you're going to fall asleep. You're not going to be paying attention in the same way that you normally would if a seatbelt light goes on. So having that seatbelt on at all times is really important. I mean, generally, it's more likely that you're going to be injured if you're a crew member, because obviously they're up and about, they're moving about the plane. But I mean, there is evidence we're seeing now that there is an increase in the number of really serious incidents of turbulence. Because of climate change, we've got jet streams that are moving faster, we've got higher winds, and with that comes the added, obviously, the added idea that there's going to be more chance of there being severe injuries from really severe turbulence. But it is only 3%. Only 3% of flights will experience even moderate turbulence. And it's tenths of a percent that will experience severe turbulence like this.
Lisa, thank you. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us at the very last minute. Lisa Minot, their travel editor at The Sun. Singapore Airlines have said they offer their deepest condolences to the families of the deceased.